Alright, what's up, long lost friends? Um, so, if you can't tell, obviously, I shifted my attention away from YouTube and I started working on a bunch of other projects and stuff. But my goal is to get back to YouTube. I do have like a business that I help run, but I like making YouTube videos. So I just want to take a second, reconnect, get back in here. And I wanted to take these ideas, right? It's two ideas and they fit together perfectly, okay? We have Matt from Quantum of Conscious. Um, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Matt says, whatever. But it's a really interesting channel. He's got really interesting ideas. And the idea that he put forth that I really like uh, is the idea that society is like a raft, right? Uh, and this raft floats down the river of life. You and I, as people who don't consider ourselves part of society, we are on the bank of the river that is life. And we just watch this raft roll by, and all the people in society are on this raft, and whatever. It's a really good metaphor for life. And then the other half is the Big Sib, right? This is a Bible verse, and it's obviously it's not Big Sib's idea, but Sib brought it to the forefront of my mind, and that is all things are lawful unto me, but not all things are expedient, right? That's a really good Bible verse. So the point that I want to make is, right, life is a river, okay, and it flows. Society is in life, it's a raft that floats down the river of life. And you and I, being on the riverbank, we see this raft, and that's society. So the things in the river are the things in life, in the world. Um, Technology, music, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, money, all those things, right? Those things are in the river. You and I, we're on the river bank, right? We're not on the raft. We're certainly not headed off the waterfall with the rest of society, but we're still in life. We're just on the riverbank. So all those things that are in the river, right? Those things aren't good for your spiritual development, right? Constantly seeking entertainment on your smartphone or your tablet, computer, video games, whatever it may be. That's certainly not expedient. I personally think that entertainment is the worst thing that you can look for because it means you're wasting time. Um, but anyway, as someone, as people who know, right, that the spiritual realm is within. It is the mind. It's the mind and the heart, the subconscious. Um, because we know that, right? We don't wallow and feel depressed about decisions we made 10 years ago. We let it go, and we're able to grow and move forward, right? Because when you're sad about something that you did 10 years ago, you anchor yourself. You anchor yourself in the past, and so you're not able to completely move forward. And that's a spiritual concept. Um, so all these things in the river, right? Us being on the riverbank, we can go into the river and we can dabble with those things, right? We can play with technology, um, entertainment, fun, useless entertainment is basically all it is. And those things are lawful. to us, right? Because we're not going to sit around and be depressed, whatever. But it's not expedient. It's not getting us away from the river. It's pulling us into the river and closer to that raft. And in case you can't see, I got to be careful here because I have to dodge guideline strikes apparently, which I don't mind. It gives me something to do. That raft is going over a waterfall, and it looks like it's going over soon, right? If you are property of the state, you're going off that waterfall with them. Me personally, I'm not, right? You see, you get into society, the raft, and you have a role to play. You get your job, whether it's 9 to 5 or you're a CEO or whatever it may be, and you have to act, behave, and think a certain way in order to fill that role, so to speak. The issue is people, when they fill that role, they let that role become who they are, and so they lose sight of who they truly are. I always, and I'm sure you did too, because you're here, and that says something. I always was myself. I know how to be professional. I've ran quite a few businesses. I've done everything from concrete, building houses. I moved furniture and made a boatload of money doing that. I did all kinds of stuff. My favorite thing to do was restaurant work. I love working around food. I love making food, right? And that, I think it comes from this. It's weird. It's like a pleasure that I get, right, when I make a dish and I give it to somebody and they eat it and it tastes wonderful and they love it and I don't know if you've ever made something and gave somebody something delicious and then they celebrated it, but I enjoy that feeling and I really like cooking, so that's what I do. But that personality that I use when I'm in a kitchen is not who I really am. You see, the people on that raft, that personality that they take up to fit into society, they accept that as their true self. And then who they really are gets further and further away. But you and I, we don't do that. We are true to ourselves, and so we're able to stand on the riverbank and see society as it heads off the cliff. Those personas that people take up, the fake personas that they use to fit into society, those are what's going overboard. And if you've spent your entire life mastering and pretending to be that persona, how much of you is going to be left when that persona is torn away? Right? There's going to be a lot of people who are confused and don't know what to do and don't know who they are. Like, obviously something in this world here is coming to a head, right? It's pretty obvious. I heard that there's like 3 states that are already talking about masks being permanent. For what? Whatever. We can't really get into that. But something here is about to pop, I assume. It just seems that way. I don't know. I really don't. I see people doing all this nonsense, and I'm just like, why? But anyway, those two concepts, right? Life being a river, society is a raft on the river. You got your captains. Those are the influencers, the people who influence the minds of men. Because if you influence the mind of man, you control him. It's the spirit realm. And you and I, being on the riverbank, watching all this happen, it's crazy. As far as the whole, everything is lawful unto me, but not everything is expedient. I think a big point in that is having the discipline to not do it even though you want to. Like, I was a hardcore video gamer when I was a kid. Um, and it's hard for me sometimes. Like, I pick up video games and I start playing and stuff because my kid's got a Switch and a PS5 and an Xbox One and all this new crap, right? And it's hard to not play it sometimes because I just want to play with him, get in there and play Super Smash Bros. But those things just slow down the spiritual growth. And the spiritual growth is what's important. But that's enough of that. I really just wanted to get in here, touch base, make a video, and see if I get a guideline strike for absolutely nothing. But I hope y'all have a wonderful night. I'll see you soon. I promise. I gotta, divert my attention back into this because I've been doing a whole bunch of nothing. So, love you all though. Peace out.